Outrage over George Floyd's death at the hands of Minneapolis police is propelling the Black Lives Matter movement forward. In this half hour, lawmakers agree policing needs to change, but when it comes to how much, they don't see eye to eye. The latest developments from Capitol Hill. And conversations of race are reaching grocery shelves and beyond. The cultural shockwaves rippling through businesses across the nation. Today, the Rochester Public Library voted to make a stronger statement about being anti-racist and to sign a commitment letter with other nonprofits that addresses a call to action for racial justice. A racial reckoning is happening across the nation. KIMT News 3's Isabella Basco is taking a closer look.
As protesters demand an end to racial injustices, major corporations are taking a look in the mirror and changing their image. Quaker Oats is retiring the Aunt Jemima brand and logo, recognizing it's based on a racial stereotype and has ties to slavery. History instructor Chad Israelson says it's been a long time coming.
It's rather embarrassing that it has taken this amount of time to address some of these things.
Rochester Public Library Director Audrey Betcher doesn't mince words when it comes to the library's past.
The library has had a long history. Some of it has been racist. The libraries for across this whole country were segregated for a long time.
In the past, people of color were disproportionately impacted by libraries being closed on the weekends and overdue fines. But RPL has addressed those issues with fine forgiveness and better hours. Israelson explains why it has taken us this long to address racial inequities, injustices, and stereotypes.
You know, some of these arguments wouldn't have necessarily made sense in 1950, keeping in mind that there was a good chunk of the country where it was legal to discriminate against people at that time.
Israelson says in history, every movement isn't caused by one event. Instead, it's a spark that ignites it. That's what the death of George Floyd is doing, bringing awareness to these issues.
The killing of Archduke Ferdinand, for example, there were all sorts of reasons why World War I happened. That's the spark that ignited it. So George Floyd's murder is the spark that is going to ignite these things. But the conditions were already there.
Betcher believes in order for society to recognize its injustices, we might have to break everything apart and start over.
We have to really look at ourselves and our institutions.
In Rochester, Isabella Basco, KIMT News 3.
The Rochester Public Library is also taking a look at their policies and practices to hold themselves accountable for anti-racism.